December the 13th is looming. GPSR is coming. Northern Ireland is going to be affected. Does anyone care? Well, we'll soon talk about this right now. Welcome viewers. This is a probably full and final update in regards to the GPSR before it becomes enacted upon next week in the online and also the retail communities throughout Northern Ireland, European Union, Great Britain. So, where are we? As far as I'm concerned, this is a regulation that is counterintuitive. It doesn't progress on standards of safety. For the most of it, it affects one country and it affects it vastly. Everyone wants to know what GPSR is. A lot of people still haven't got it right, so I'm going to explain it just for the ones that have never heard of GPSR. GPSR is known as the General Product Safety Regulations. It takes over from the GPSD regulations that were enacted upon years and years ago with the CE approval stamp. This is the newest version, and they refer to it in the European Union as the digitalization of products coming into European Union. Overall, and the whole consensus is, it's a good thing. It is. I think it is. But the way it's been carried out and the way it's been enacted upon by the online platforms such as Amazon, eBay, etc., I have found that it's been nothing but counterintuitive. There's been no desire to transition this. There's been no desire to make this a long-term transition, to await the manufacturers to update their information so that we can update your information when the time comes when we get the product from, let's say, China, Germany, Europe, whatever it is we get our products from. They have to have a European representative, and no product today is currently being manufactured with that information upon it. However, let me update you with this. Since this whole complaint that I've been making over 3 months ago has started, I've noticed there are a couple of manufacturers now are starting to put in real and precise information required for us to easily upload information for GPSR standards, and the transition is starting to occur. However, why is it that sellers throughout the UK, both retail, that's bricks and mortar, and online, which is going to be mostly affected, such as eBay, are enforcing rules to comply with regulations on standards that do not have documentation or the presentation of documentation to people for us to upload, or to sellers for us to upload onto eBay and the likes? I have been contacting so many people in Northern Ireland. I close my eyes with frustration. I feel like I'm banging my head on the wall. This is where I tell you that not one MLA, not one MP, not one councillor has ever been remotely interested in responding to my issues surrounding GPSR and how it will affect us from the December the 13th onwards. I managed to have a meeting, and I will name the people today. I managed to have a meeting with an MLA who stated that he would find a resolve for me or try and find solutions for me. And when it came to the first hurdle, I was more or less put on ignore. This is where I feel that our MLAs are not remotely concerned about the issues regarding trade within Northern Ireland. So, what was the first hurdle? There was a letter sent, a private letter. I have the documentation here. I've got the proof of evidence of here, and I'm happy to upload it. And it's from Conor Murphy to David Honeyford. David Honeyford was the MLA that I chose because of the party that I voted for, which is the Alliance Party of Northern Ireland. And he wrote to the Trade Minister, and the Trade Minister replied that it's an English government institutional issue. More or less, they're wiping their hands of it. They're not remotely interested in it. This is the Sinn Féin Minister. He's in charge of trade, and he's saying it's an English government issue. So that blocked that issue. I then was told by David Honeyford that he was awaiting something from the Federation of Small Businesses. I waited 2 weeks. This is why you've not seen an update. I waited 2 weeks. And sadly, when I went to him, I said, listen, I need to go alternatives here. I need to find at least a solution or a resolution to this problem. The resolve was this. I was simply just put on ignore. No response, and that was the last I heard from him. That's an insult. It's an insult to the fact that I have so many viewers now. In the last video, the last big video I did, I got 66,000 views with 1,600 comments, all of which spoke of their displeasure on the situation on GPSR. Most of them are sellers within Northern Ireland. Some of them are sellers within GB, all showing their concern and their concern with the fact that they've already witnessed depreciation both of their sales and of their purchases where they can't purchase. I myself have had problems purchasing products from England now, purely because they've just simply turned us off. I've reached out to other people. I reached out to Trading Standards. I want to produce a video, and I'm going to put the video here, so it's right in front of me now. I'm going to pause for a second. Can I ask, is that the official response of Trading Standards of Northern Ireland, that you say that the GPSR regulations that are being brought into effect on the 13th of December, that's going to more or less affect all small trading packages in Northern Ireland, is a result of a health and safety issue? Can you confirm that, yes or no? Okay, so I for the record, I'm just going to say that you've just, Kurt, in a long way, just told me yes you have. So can you leave this back to what do you call them? Just say this for just so that you understand what's going on. I've also reached out to the Equality Commission of Northern Ireland, and they've actually breached an Equality Act which has excluded Northern Ireland as a whole from being able to trade fairly amongst the other countries within the UK, and that they've enabled the rest of Great Britain to turn off the whole of Northern Ireland in supply and also then demand for Northern Irish customers. This has got nothing to do with the health and safety thing. I have no idea who done that, but do you know what that is? It's a cop-off what you've done, and I'm disgusted by Trading Standards if that's the level of tone that you have actually put, or intelligence that you've put into this. I know more than you guys know, and it's terrifying to hear that Trading Standards have called me up to tell me the most hilarious response, which is a health and safety concern. This has got nothing to do with health and safety. It's to do with the Windsor Framework, the Northern Ireland Protocol, and an equality issue, and of course every single Northern Irish citizen being ousted under the rules that have been played for by eBay, Amazon and Etsy. I assume that's what I'm talking about. You're still insisting that it's a health and safety issue, right? So this is about the GPSR. I'm just confused, just to make 100% sure. You're absolutely, we're talking about the GPSR regulations of the European Union of December the 13th, 2024. Is that what you're suggesting? It's a health and safety issue. It's got nothing to do with Trading Standards. Now, can remember now, by the way, I have spoken to Conor Murphy about this. Are you sure you want to insist on this statement? I have an official from the Trade Minister. You're passing on. Who is the person that passed on the details? Can I have that person's name? No, can I have that person's name? No, so I just pass it back to Conor Murphy, the Trade Minister. Can I ask you exactly, because this is bigger than you guys are thinking. You just copped it off. You've not even looked into it. I know you haven't, because there's no way that is a health and safety issue. Can you tell me who is the man or the woman or the person or the human that have said that is a health and safety issue? Can I have the person's name? I'm entitled to have that on the government record. Just for the record, you're terminating this call. Sorry, you're not willing to give me the details of someone. You are going to terminate the call based on what? So again, there's another record, guys. So the Trading Standards have come back and they've insisted that it's a health and safety issue. It's got nothing to do with Trading Standards. They were unwilling to give me their names or who they were. This is, to me, another violation of your civil rights, where not even Trading Standards, they want to go to enforcement. They want to go and pick on little tiny shop traders in the town and knock on their door and they say they've got one complaint about a customer who has a problem with a hair clip that they bought out of a chemist, but yet they can't even deal with the big things. This is the problem with this country, where you got people in Northern Ireland always being affected by the worst civil servants in the world, and they are based here in this country, excuse my language. There it is. We got a call from Trading Standards. Trading Standards say it's a health and safety issue, that the GPSR regulations of Northern Ireland have got nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with trade. It has nothing to do with issues on inequality throughout the country. This is what is working for us as a citizen of Northern Ireland and the UK. Good on us. We're living in a third world country in the very United Kingdom. There you go. Please like and subscribe. There is the video that stated that while I was doing construction work in my other business that I have, if you want, you can look at the videos there of the construction work that I do. There's a video there and there's a video there. I got a call from Trading Standards replying to my request for what are they going to do to assist Northern Ireland sellers in the reaction or the productivity or the conclusion to GPSR. Their response was this: the most foolish and uneducated response, and you saw it there. They said that it was a health and safety issue. I've never heard the likes of it, that it's a health and safety issue. This is how much effort Trading Standards put into it. This is Trading Standards of Northern Ireland. The same people that would chase a consumer problem and go knocking on the doors of a seller who may have just only once upset one seller, causing an issue on the phone. They put your details up online and say it's the tip of the iceberg. It's a tip of the iceberg. This is a reactionary department of the government in Northern Ireland. This is how toothless certain people are and how inept certain people are in our country. So far, we've got the MLAs and all of them are inept. I'm telling you now, David, Sorsha, Naomi Long, the people that I have wrote to in the Alliance Party, all inept. It's disgusting that I put my whole entire time supporting that party for not even getting a human response or only getting 5 minutes with an MLA, enough to dehumanize or make me feel like I've earned nothing or no respect within the party that I have stood for over years and years and years. This is a ridiculous challenge that I have managed to see, and how fake the assemblymen, the councillors are. I'm disgusted. And any one of you who are voting should look at this and look at this as a direct result when you see December the 13th come in and you cannot get your stock because GB say will not supply to Northern Ireland, will not supply to Northern Ireland, and will not supply to Northern Ireland. It's happened already. This situation has happened. And what are they talking about in the Assembly and on Nolan? Flags. That's it. They're talking about bloody flags and the Olympics. So that's what it's about. It's about territory. It's about, the green and the orange. It's all it's always about. Northern Ireland are our worst bloody enemy, while trade suffers, while the economy suffers, while people's jobs suffer. And this is the reason why we are the most inequitable country of the United Kingdom. We have the lowest GDP. Why? There it is. And there is a direct correlation to the Assemblyman taking no concern to trade in Northern Ireland. There it is. So Trading Standards are inept. They don't even know what GPSR is. They said it was a health and safety issue. What else have we got? I have called the Federation of Small Businesses myself. No response. I have called other MLAs of other parties. No response. I have reached out to eBay. No response. eBay have made it clear where it was going 3 months ago. Not one piece of information has been given. However, I have been turned information quietly and privately that, and I'm making it public because it's important for the general public, that eBay will look to how the European Union push the GPSR standards upon them, and how much they're pushed by the EU is how much they respond in kind to the sellers and the regulatory requirements that they require. Sorry for stopping the program, guys. Listen, 90% of you guys are watching this right now aren't subscribed to my channel. Please click the like button, subscribe, and follow for more. What I read from that was they're not going to push it unless they're pushed. They're not going to throw it into us unless it's thrown onto them. If that is the case, eBay, thank you. You're learning about the idea of transition. I do know that you're watching my videos. I'm disappointed you're not contacting me and helping me make more informed videos about your position. I understand and I challenge the fact that you are a commercial entity trying to regulate, so I get it. However, you could have contacted me and I'm professional enough to understand your position to a point where I put out a video empathizing with where you are and also where the sellers of Northern Ireland, of the entire UK and the European Union are. There is one caveat to this situation. This is one bright star to the situation. Of the 35 organizations, people, government departments that I have contacted, I have found that one has responded, and they have responded with a totally frank and full resolution to this, to fend off the idea that rights of sellers in Northern Ireland are being affected. This is the Equality Commission of Northern Ireland, or the Equality Commission, who are based in Northern Ireland. They've had it hard here. They have a dedicated mechanisms unit that deal with any breaches or any inequalities that happen, and they were set up for the Windsor Framework and the issues surrounding the Northern Ireland Protocol and the Windsor Framework and the European Union and the way it trades within Northern Ireland and the European Union and the Northern Ireland GB. They have stated there's a possible breach of my rights. I'm not saying it is. I'm going to email them fully what I believe to be the case. There is a possible breach of not just mine, but everybody else's rights under Article 2 of the Windsor Framework. There are also breaches of the Equality Act of 2010. There is an article in there that states that the UK must be equal. It's also a part of the Levelling Up programme that the government has enacted as well, that disallows institutions and commercial organisations such as eBay and Amazon to detriment people like people in Northern Ireland, which is 1.88 million people of us, and it disallows eBay to condone or enact or enable them to more or less allow GB to turn off Northern Ireland because it's just unnecessary or unneeded. There is a breach of that, and that's a violation that eBay are currently allowing. This is possibly why eBay are realizing they have to softly this approach. They've not enforced it and they've not said too much about it. Transition. Manufacturers are now starting to do it on the back of packages. I'm seeing new products coming in from Germany. I'm seeing products actually coming from the United States of America. There is an American company that do software for eBay. They've added a new GPSR section. This is in America. This is in the United States of America. There are people in Great Britain haven't done it. So American products are now getting a GPSR standard tick on it that allows people to easily upload GPSR, GPSD regulations or compliancy documents. So this is a good thing, and this is a relevant transition into understanding GPSR more fully. Now, Germany have already reported back to me that it's a complete shit show and that there is already issues with intertrading, and they're seeing stock disappearing on eBay. And I believe that eBay have already tested the bed with France and Germany and realized it's a complete shit show. If we do it, Northern Ireland's going to be zipped out of the total trading environment. And it seems to be only in small packages that it's aimed at. I understand where the aim is. It's aimed at China. It's aimed at products and Temu and Alibaba, Express, etc. And that is why they're doing it. Now, I get it. I get there are some products that are absolute shit, but majority of products that come to the United Kingdom are good. I have yet to see someone put a claiming in the millions of products that I've sold over the years. I think I've had one faulty battery in my entire time that I've sold stock, and that was mentioned and put onto our insurance company. It just disappeared. And that was about 14 years ago. What I'm saying to you is this: there needs to be an adult response to all of this. All you traders that have seen this know what I'm talking about. You don't want to turn off. I urge every GB seller, turn that Northern Ireland switch back on. Sell to Northern Ireland, because it seems to be that eBay are not going to enforce this, not fully, and I don't want to call them out because I want this to be a softly approach too. But I'm asking, no, I'm actually begging it. I've went to Nolan, I went to the BBC, I'm going to talk to John Campbell. He's managed to catch on to my videos. John Campbell of the BBC, I'm coming for you. You must understand, I know that you've been writing about me, but I ask that you come back to me. The email that I have is production@castlemediauk.com. Please contact me directly. I really want to chat to you, I want to meet up with you, because it seems to be within the BBC, you're the only one that's reporting on GPSR and its looming deadline for Northern Ireland and its potential failure. Now, I say potential because if you look at my previous videos, it was about total failure, total calamity. I believe that I myself, with the help of traders within GB, big people like Ricky Reseller, there he is there. Nick and Andrea, there they are there. Flipping Retro, there. Go and speak to them. They've been supporting this channel. Cookie and Haladine, I think it's Haladine, and they've been supporting my channel, and I appreciate it, and thank you to all of you. Anything I can do, my hands on my heart, I appreciate your support. You're all GB sellers. You don't realize how much that makes me feel, that there are people and counterparts in the GB that are so wanting this to work. So, this is a quiet proposition. I urge all of you not to make a mess of this. Please turn Northern Ireland back on. Don't make this too harsh. I believe a lot of you have already done what I've asked, is turn this back on. And because of this, I believe that I have turned the calamity into a slower transition into GPSR for Northern Ireland. I welcome GPSR because it's going to happen in the UK too. So I welcome it. It doesn't matter if we're the test bed for standards that are digitalized. I don't care. All I care about is that Northern Ireland sellers are not affected to a point where we can't even buy a roll of sellotape, which was the case with me. I'm going to end this with a very much thank you. This is probably going to be the last video I do on GPSR. I may do one post December the 13th, because if it becomes calamitous, I will lose and everybody loses major profit on their businesses. As I said, Cookie and Haladin told me that he makes 10% of his business goes to Northern Ireland and he doesn't want to lose it. It makes a big difference to his business. Nick and Andrea are the same. Retro Reseller are the same. We don't want to lose. And there's lots of other sellers that have not come to me personally and spoke to me on video or anything like that and said this, but they do understand that they're turning off part of their business. And that's not something we want to condone. So eBay, thank you for quietly. eBay, thank you for listening to me, but no thank you for not reaching out to me. I gave the email, please write it down, please contact me. I'm happy to share and communicate to you in a very professional manner. You are not my enemy, and eBay are our friend. You allow us to employ 12 members of staff who enjoy their job. They love their job. They love working on eBay. They love eBay. I love eBay. I've been working with you guys for 23 years. I was one of your first members. Yes, you MC11'd it and turned it off and you killed that business. I had something like a feedback of 18,000 and you just went and switched the switch. I forgive you for it. But, you know, that's why I do what I do, because your policies were always crazy and very punitive. I don't want this to be a punitive policy, guys. I want this to be transitional. I want this to work with the community of sellers. You're doing so well trying to rebuild. I'm seeing new sellers come on board and asking my advice, and I'm mentoring eBay sellers. So please, again, eBay, if you're listening to this, I beg of you, transition us. Transition Northern Ireland. Don't go and put another one out and say this is going to be transitional. Tell everyone from GB to turn it back on. So thank you to everyone that supported the GPSR issue. Thank you to all the sellers, and thank you to everyone that's made a comment in the previous videos. If anyone's got anything to say, please comment down below. I do try to answer every email, including the haters, which I've had a lot of recently, but I responded to you. And please go ahead and hate. You don't understand. I'm okay with haters. It adds to the monetization of my channel, and I do need money for this channel to pay for this channel to keep it going. So just keep going, keep hating me. So please like, please subscribe, please notify when I put up new items. Remember, I also do construction, so if it bores you, please tell me. We may split the channel, or we may just continue with this merged channel, what I do in the 6 income streams that I have. Thank you for watching. Alan out.